As we return to the rescue in progress, we see Jeb, Leah, Skald, and Link journey into the depths of Sector B37 with one thought in their minds: rescue Nina from the clutches of her captors. However, as they pull through the graveyard of old warehouses and factories, they begin to see that perhaps they will need the rescue. This week on WeTogether, The Lost Pages, Part 2. Underneath the dead smokestacks of Sector B37, the rebar Freightmaster 5000 growls low, nosing between rusted buildings and abandoned factories before settling with a ticking engine. Doors open. Boots hit the ground. Skald, Leah, Jebediah, and Link step out, even Sheriff with them. Faces set, movements spare. They have come for Nina. They slip along the warehouse's flank towards a back door, a rectangle of black steel welded over old scars. The air is cold, metallic, old oil thick. Jebediah lifts his muzzle and reads the air. Nina. And a thread of cigar smoke riding above a familiar turtle scent. Memory clicks. The same turtle who came sniffing around Nina's a day prior. The trail is fresh. He nods them forward. They keep the breach quiet. Eyes first, noise second. Recon comes from above. A rooftop vantage may give them answers. Squalled braces as Link gathers the wind close. Strength and pressure become a single motion. The launch is clean. Link soars and clears the gutter and lands on a soft, crumbling roof that groans underfoot. Across the rooftop sits a Githrak woman in still meditation, a sword laid with deliberate care before her. She does not rise. She does not speak. He marks her as a hostile and reports down to the others, the air around him tightening like a held breath. Perspective shift. Skald surges first. One driving kick folds the back door, metal shrieking as the team slips into the dark factory floor. Overhead, Link then commits to the rooftop charge. The Githrak still is stone, her blade at rest. But then, the roof under him sighs and gives way. He drops through the rust and shadow, snatching a column of air to slow the fall, but a crossbeam clips his side. Pain blooms along the ribs. He lands hard, breath ragged but alive. They gather around him at once, a formation tightening. Link gestures to them with a curt nod. There's no time to dwell on bruises. The warehouse opens into a long, tunneled corridor of concrete and sheet steel. Oil in the air, dim light down the spine. 5 doors face them like judges. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 1 straight ahead. Names are scratched into the metal by a hard hand. Left, Jebediah and Leah. Right, Skald and Link. At the far end, Eve. Names no one should know. They move without argument. Jeb steps to his door. Skald and Link take their marks on the right. Leah shifts into her hamster form, and Sheriff lifts her carefully and carries her through the door marked Leah. Eve faces the center door alone. One by one, heavy slabs swing shut and lock. The hall goes still. Perspective shift. Jebediah. The door slams behind him. Jeb draws his cheap Centec revolver and lights a bramblebush joint to life, smoke curling past his muzzle. Across the small room, a halfling sits cocky behind a massive spread of consoles, screens washing his grin in cold light. From the speaker above, gravel rolls in.
Fight and win, or lose and die.
Without hesitation, Jeb shoots first. The round slaps a Magitech barrier, ricocheting wickedly. As he twists to the side, it screams past him. The halfling laughs and hammers the keys, confidence humming with his machines. On the walls, 2 drone turrets scuttle up their tracks, seeking angles. They find him. A loud burst lands hard. Jeb takes the bullets with a grunt, sets his feet, and keeps his muzzle steady. Fur darkens with blood at the shoulder. Overhead, metal ribs grind as the ceiling begins to retract, exposing the space above in a widening ring of shadow. Perspective shift. Leah. Sheriff carries Leah into a windowless room where the air sits hot and close. In the shadows, a plasma knife flips and lands, each catch flashing a thin edge. A black-furred, snaggle-toothed tabaxi leans from the gloom with a bored sneer.
I wanted an actual challenge.
Sheriff registers Leah's tremor. His internal combat suite deploys, twin guns dropping from either side of his cranial frame. Suddenly, the tabaxi blurs, faster than sight. A slap of metal on chassis, an EMP pulse magnet locks to Sheriff's chest. Lights gutter. Systems die. The droid slumps inert to the floor, arms limp. Leah bolts for the corner, but a clawed hand closes around her waist and lifts her easily.
Needed a good snack.
The hunter purrs, raising her towards his open jaws. Darkness folds over her as she's forced past the teeth. The slick press of throat closing. In that crush of black, a voice stirs. Quiet. Familiar. Perspective shift. Scald. The room is bare concrete and hot shimmer. An 8-foot-tall Goliath waits in the center, tungsten knuckles hanging heavy, scarred from other fights. Scald doesn't slow. He closes the distance in 3 pounding strides and meets the giant chest to chest, forearms lock, boots skidding for purchase. The Goliath's hands begin to spark. Current crawls up from arm into fist until the metal glows, the air turning sharp with ozone. Scald drops his hips, turns the leverage, and wrenches the bigger man off balance. The slam lands hard. The concrete answers. And Scald follows through, driving a fiery hammer fist straight into the Goliath's face. Flesh blisters, chars, and peels away. The Goliath laughs. Beneath the ruin is an undamaged metal skull, unblinking and bright. Around it, gears kick alive, servos whining, indicators flaring, while those tungsten knuckles heat towards white hot. Scald squares over him, shoulders forward, flame rolling off his fists. Round 1 is finished. This fight isn't. Perspective shift. Link. She is there waiting. The same Githrak from the roof, now standing, blade in hand, gaze steady. She lifts the sword in a clean salute, an honorable fight if nothing else. Link breathes through the ache along his ribs and set his stance, mind clear, air gathering tight around him. She moves first, no warning, a fast cut for his head. Link slips the line and answers the opening. 2 hard wind-backed strikes to her body that stagger and test her guard. She growls, pivots, and draws a shallow slice across his cheek. Blood beads. He turns with it, rising into a whipping cyclone kick, momentum coiling to break her rhythm. Her hilt hisses. Vents bloom a toxic gas that floods the room in a breath. It hits like needles. Link drags air to push it back, but the burn gets there first. Eyes stinging, lungs aflame. Every inhale, a curse. He squares anyway, blinking through the pain, ready to press or weather the next cut. Perspective shift, Jebediah. The ceiling finishes its crawl and opens to the chamber above. Nina hangs there, bound. Behind her, the turtle, with a lit cigar, presses a knife to her neck. His voice drops.
Keep fighting, or she dies.
Jeb squares under the widening light, shoulder bleeding, muzzle steady. Nina moves first. A twist, a hidden catch, and her pearl-handled revolver kicks loose, spinning down towards Jebediah. He snatches Lola out of the air. Runes along the barrel kindle. A monocle of magic light snaps over his eye. Strings of gold unwind through the room, mapping shots like threads in the air. Above, the turrets settle their aim for another attack. He fires, off angle. The round skips the wall, ricochets around the barrier, and punches straight into the halfling's CPU disk. The shield gutters and dies. The halfling's bravado drains. Hands raised in surrender. Up above, the turtle smiles through the cigar smoke. Perspective shift, Leah. She is still wedged in the tabaxi's throat, his muscles squeezing in waves. Below, at the drop to the belly, a ring of runes pulses. Hunter script, meant to bind and digest. Keep prey small, dampen magic, and slow the body while the stomach finishes the work. Her druid lineage won't save her this time. If she reaches them, she stays a hamster and disappears inch by inch. She reaches for Bud. "Hey, Leah." The voice comes slow and gentle in her mind. "This is pretty scary, but we can do this together." Heat blooms inside her chest. Bud flares into a new form, spines lighting like match heads, ember lines running the stem, a soft pop of glow that settles over her like a net she can wear. Instinct answers. Burning slime surges, a clear green ooze that sheets across her fur. It doesn't harm her, but it burns everything it touches like acid. The tabaxi's throat seizes. A cough becomes a spasm. Heat rakes his palate. He hacks her out onto the floor in a spray of sizzling spit, pawing at a mouth now blistering and smoking. Leah lands small, slick, shaking, but alive. Behind her, a lock thunks. Her door opens. perspective shift. Link still standing in the venom cloud, eyes burning, every breath a struggle. He drags the air into motion and blows the gas back, clearing the room to a sharp, stinging hush. Across from him, the Githrak resets her stance, blade low and patient. Suddenly, the floor hums, something heavy moving on the other side of the wall. The Goliath charges his cybernetics and turns himself into a battering ram. He picks Scald up and runs him through the concrete, the wall bursting in a roar of rebar and dust. Scald crashes across the floor, skids, and comes up on one knee with a hard gasp, one arm clamped to his chest. He plants his palm, pushes himself to his feet, shoulders squaring despite the pain. Link rakes the last of the poison from the air and glances back, a quick, crooked smile, then steps to Scald's shoulder. They settle, back to back, weight shared, breathing in sync. The Githrak slides right, testing for an angle on Link. The Goliath squares left, knuckles crackling as he sights on Scald. Two fronts, one rhythm. The next round begins. They split the field without a word, Link holding the Githrak, Scald meeting the Goliath, each keeping their mark while working in the same cadence. Link's wind-backed palm bumps the Githrak offline. Across the lane, Scald checks the charge and answers with a short, fiery elbow to the metal jaw. Knuckles crackle, steel rings. No one yields. Blood beads at Link's cheek, heat gutters along Scald's fist. When they reset, both pairs are upright and wary. A stalemate. The intercom cuts through the dust.
That's enough. I've seen what I needed.
Locks clunk. Doors unlock. The fight stops on command. As the doors open in sequence and the rooms let go, Scald, Leah, Jebediah, and Link step out into the main floor, dust in their throats, guards still high. Sheriff reactivates with a rising whine and lumbers beside them. Optic steady, casing scorched where the magnet had been. Eve is absent. They look up. On the second floor landing, framed by a railing and stained glass, stand Nina and the turtle with the cigar. Nina is unharmed. She lifts her hands to show the binds were never tied, then takes her place at the turtle's side. This wasn't a rescue. It was a measure. The turtle touches a finger to his ear, smoke curling from his mouth.
Yeah, boss. You were right. They are getting stronger.
And that is where I'm going to end this session.
WeTogether.